Pinky Gardener here, and I know it's been a long time since I posted a video. I guess I've been busy and I had a few projects here and there that took over most of my time during the summertime. So finally, here's a video. And this one is going to be changing up a few things because I'm going to be showing you some of my houseplants. And recently I've become re-obsessed. Like, I've reinvigorated my obsession over houseplants. Before I started growing food or plants outside in general, I was kind of obsessed with houseplants. And I had collected a few, and I didn't know what I was doing that much at the time. I think I was really obsessed with succulents, and I remember I would be propagating them and growing them, planting them in arrangements, and they would be placed in really low light areas in the house because I just wanted to use them as decoration. But now I really gained a lot of respect for plants and how to treat them the best I can in an indoor environment in your house. Thankfully in my house I have this space that has these 4 windows, and I call it my plant room because how can you not put plants in this room, you know? Other than that, basically, you know what, only a few plants have survived since my first round of plant obsession collection. And this guy, I don't know if it's in frame, but my huge aloe vera, I'm so very proud of her, is one of the ones that have survived. It's been through some trying times, and now it even put up a flower stalk. So that was over 5 years ago, right? Either way, I wanted to dedicate this video to a genus of plants that have become quite a favorite amongst plant collectors on the internet, YouTube community, Instagram, and that is the Peperomia. Now I know the lovely lady from Homestead, Brooklyn, Summer Rain Oaks, she almost started this obsession maybe, but she has avidly said how much she loves Peperomia, and I know she has a lot of plants. I know many other collectors on YouTube and people in general love Peperomia because there's just so many of them, right? But I have a few, and I quite enjoy them, and I find them very interesting the more I look at them. So this guy is my very first Peperomia, and I got this plant from a cutting from my neighbor friend. And she is a 12-year-old girl at the moment, and I think I got her obsessed with houseplants. By the way, she got the mother plant from her grandmother, or maybe it was a cutting, but I would call it that she has the mother plant and she gave me a cutting. And this was several years ago. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little bit later than that, but I do not know the species of this plant, of this Peperomia. I've tried quite hard in looking at, watching several videos and looking at, several sources, but it's kind of hard to identify a genus of, a species from a genus that's so huge and can look so different. But I know for sure this is a Peperomia because its fluorescence, its flowers, are indicative of Peperomias, right? So it has a trailing habit, as you can see, but I almost want, if I had the choice to name it, I would call it something like tidal wave, because it actually kind of does that. It goes up, it goes straight when it's growing at first, and it keeps on, its straightness until it gets too top heavy, and then it trails downward, right? And this guy is so not picky. I love her, right? Love her, this guy. Let's not get into that. And this one is just so not picky, and basically I have it 10 meters plus away from the closest window, and it's not even a south-facing window, right? So super low light tolerant, drought tolerant, but can also tolerate a bit of heavier watering, which I tend to do because I just want to nurture it some more, even though I know it's not great. So yeah, it really doesn't rot easily, which I've heard some Peperomias do tend to rot easily. and it propagates super well. Because this guy was a cutting, the other 2 pots that I have are cuttings, you know, and grows pretty fast considering. Alright, so my second peperomia is gonna be a very new addition that I just recently got from Home Depot. Now Home Depot came in with a spring stock of houseplants, and they were a steal. They were only $3 for a 3.8, I don't know. Was silly me. This is a 4-inch pot, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, they're only $3 Canadian, which is a really good deal, right? So this guy is a Peperomia Pixie. It's probably not too uncommon to find this guy, right? And it has a lime green coloration with these really delicate darker green striations on every single leaf. And I find it's just really cute. And it's really compact and dainty. Now this guy is probably one of my favorite plants in general, of all the plants I have. Now that says a lot because I have quite a lot of plants. I don't know why I quite like this one so much. I think it's just so peculiar. And I collected it from a seed trading event at the Toronto Botanical Gardens. And the guy who brought in all his plants to sell, he made a quick buck because people were going crazy. Not surprised, smart marketing. So, and the other great thing about the plants that I got from him is that he labeled all of them. How great is that? You try finding and identifying houseplants online just based on pictures, because some succulents especially, or whatever it is, they tend to look very different based on like how you're growing them. And there's just so many species within a genus alone that can look very similar from to each other, right? So this guy, he labeled as Peperomia pecuniifolia Hope. I believe it's a cross between the Pecuniifolia and the Peperomia Hope, which I've heard Peperomia Hope is a cultivated variety that is trademarked, so you can't really propagate it willy-nilly and sell it however you want. Either way, I love this guy because it has that very unique aspect of some peperomias where the top part of the leaf, or you know, any part of the leaf, has this kind of translucent quality to it. It's super plump, it just looks so lovely, and it's put on a lot of new growth already since I got it, which wasn't even that long ago. It was less than a month ago. And yeah, I just love this guy. Okay, and other peperomias that I have. Now I know this one isn't a peperomia, but its name indicates that somebody really wanted it to be a peperomia, but it just wasn't. This is the classic Pilea peperomoides, also known as the UFO plant or Chinese money plant, whatever you want to call it, and I managed to find a great little pot for it. This bird, I thought it suited the plant very well. And yeah, I recently got it. It wasn't that long ago, but I chose this pot specifically because I saw it was producing a lot of little babies, as you can see. So hopefully I can share. This is also known as the friendship plant because it produces so many pups or babies, and you can share it with your friends. Alright, so that about does it for my peperomias. At the moment, I know in the long run I will be buying more, I will be collecting more, because peperomias are kind of addictive, and I can see why. They just have little unique qualities to each individual species and variety. So there you go, and stay tuned for more in-depth show and tell of different genuses of plants that I have, because I think that's how I'm going to show them. Okay, so and please subscribe if you like my content, and give me a like on Instagram as well. Also Green Pinky Gardener. Thanks. Bye. Alright, so after I finished filming my peperomia video, I realized I missed this one. Even though I fully told myself, don't forget this one. Guess what I did? Even after I said, oh, let me look around before I cut this video, right? So this is the classic Peperomia obtusifolia variegata, right? And it's very common, and you can see why people would love to have this plant. It's very pretty. Now, have I taken care of this plant the best? No. For some reason, it's been getting these kind of brown spots on the back of the leaves, maybe from overwatering, from whatever it is. It has put on some new growth. This guy I propagated, so it has like that blunt cut there. Now, for some reason, and I've yet to hear anybody else say this about their plant, their obtusifolia variegata, but my specimen, for some reason, puts off this maple brown sugar-like smell. That isn't that great after a while. You get quite sick and tired of it pretty fast. Once you just move it, if you just touch it, if you just touch the foliage, it's like as I'm talking right now, I can smell it. And I've yet to hear anyone else say that their Peperomia obtusifolia variegata does this. So please let me know if your plant does this weird smell thing. No other Peperomia seems to do this. And I know this is what this is. Thanks.